Hey guys, what's up? Today we have our NASCAR Heat Evolution review. We're going to go over some of the basic features of the game first, and then a lot of the gameplay like driving physics, sound, graphics, and all that good stuff. And then just talk a little bit about the game engine and the history of NASCAR games and where this is hopefully going in the future. There's a lot of mixed reviews on, well, not really. Most people say this game's not the best, and it really is. And there's a lot of problem with the games, but you can still have a lot of fun with it, as I've had a lot of fun with it, but it definitely drives me crazy sometimes. It frustrates me and should have been a little better, but we'll get into more about like why that happened, and hopefully maybe the next game these guys put out, it'll be better. So yeah, for features, you have your race now mode where you can race as all the different cup drivers. You have challenges again where you get to do just certain challenges like, oh, you're Carl Edwards at Homestead, like we all saw those ones on the old Technics one, and just different challenges where you can put in the driver's shoes in certain situations. I haven't done too many of those, but they're kind of fun. And of course, the biggest one is your career mode, which this is my career mode right now at Bristol. And let's see, we got online, multiplayer, and I think that's it. It's gonna pop up right here. Yeah, race challenges, championship is it. You can just run a season with any driver, and right here you're gonna experience one of the longer load times, as this game has very quick load time, so that's pretty awesome for it. And of course you have your basic views of the car. So you have the one that I have, the close chase, where you're behind it. You got the in-car view and the right on top of the hood view, and I think that's all of them. They're not the best. Like, I don't feel like I can see that well when I'm running the in-car view. As much as it's fun and a cool experience, it just doesn't work the best for me. Maybe you like it better, but I'm not feeling the in-car view as you're gonna see right now. This is me, Kevin Harvick at Atlanta. The gameplay I have for you today is Bristol, Atlanta, and Darlington, which are both all fun tracks, but we'll get into some of the details of that. So, the career mode, you get sponsors, of course, and you have your own team. You have to upgrade it. Mine's not that upgraded yet. I'm still in my first year, I believe. I've just been racing some regular races and then the career mode races, and that has been fun, but the overall challenges in the game and problems with it definitely hinder the experience at times, but they're still fun to be had, but it does get frustrating. So right here you're going to see the pit stops coming up. We have all the settings you can do: wedge, tape, tire pressure, 4 tires, 2 tires. You can't pick right or left. It's only just, if you pick 2 tires, it's right side, and then how many cans of fuel you need. So if you're doing like a right side tires, then you're only going to need like 1 can of fuel if you're going to try to get out quickly. The game does have custom setups. I haven't messed with it too much. I've played with it a little bit, and they do have a lot of features, rebound, spring adjustments, dampers. Are the dampers in there? I don't know. But there's a lot that you can mess with, but it makes it really hard to get deep into that game, because as much as this game does have fun with it, there's just so many things. Like right here, we'll see an AI example problem that it happens a lot on restarts and starts, that you just get ran over sometimes, especially with a car, having a car that's not fully upgraded in that, but at least you can restart quickly. It does get frustrating sometimes. The AI overall is good, where they're not overly aggressive, but it is still starts and those restarts. It's like they sometimes just act like you're not there. Like literally I've gone down to pass people on the inside and they just run me all the way to the inside like I'm not there, or run me right into the wall. It's very weird that it's just like the first start of the race that they cannot register that your car's even around sometimes. So that gets frustrating. And then the brakes. So we'll move on to driving physics. That's the main problem with this game, is that the driving physics of actually driving the car are not the best. The brakes are super touchy. At some tracks it's worse than others, like Martinsville. It actually works very good, surprisingly. And this is my favorite game to race Martinsville on. They did a good job on the track, but it must change from driving physics must change from track to track because it's definitely a different experience. Like sometimes it is so hard just to control your car going straight. You're literally like being like, oh, I can't wait until I'm in the corner because I'm about to crash just going straight because I can't keep off these guys. If I move the stick a little bit, it just swings way to the inside, swings right into the wall, and that's it gets really frustrating. And just overall, the word I would use to describe it is arcade-ish. It's while it has the simulation mode, and that's what I always race on. For like the arcade mode is just extremely arcade. And this is just the main problem with the game and really needs to be completely overhauled and not kept, not just reworked on, like completely redo it, completely change the coding, because this is not gonna fly. And another thing with the driving physics is just the fact that there's like no fall off in this game. There's no tire fall off. At Atlanta, you can see me just, yeah, like it's about time to pit, and I'm like going crazy fast through the corners, and the whole time like there's zero fall off. I should be running almost like 3 seconds slower than normal lap times with fresh tires at Atlanta, because it's that track just eats tires, and that's just not even in the game. So overall, the game size is like 8 gigabytes, and it's run off the Unity engine, which is mainly based for mobile games. Of all I've seen in the past, I haven't seen any big games run off this sort of gaming engine. So I feel like that's where the problem comes from. Is the game's small, it's run off not a very good engine, and it probably just has to do with the underfunding of a startup company that its first game, and they don't have the funding or maybe even the personnel to make the game real high quality. So hopefully this game will help them out with that, get them some money so they can invest in the next game, because this really has to be fixed and cannot be ignored. So if they focus on these driving physics qualities and track qualities, we could see a much better game, and that's definitely the main thing they're going to need to focus on, and hopefully they don't get distracted by other things and making the online too important, anything like that. Also, this lower, not as like professional game engine might also be the reason for having not terrible graphics, and the sound is pretty bad. Like it's not like you just can't take it, but compared to even the Technics games that have been released, and Project Cars is still, I love Project Cars, is a great racing game. The sound just doesn't compare and does not live up to motor sounds. When you get sideways or screeching, or another car gets sideways like this, well, there's another example of sometimes the AI just screw you over. You just get that one sound, like it's not progressive. There's nothing. It's just like there's one sound for that, and that's it. And just the engine and overall sound is lacking, and the graphics itself, like I was saying, wasn't terrible, but nothing like groundbreaking. And for Xbox One, it's definitely a little bit behind Xbox One, PS4, and where PC's at now. It's more of 360 or PS3 graphics, like maybe a little bit better than that. And it's certain areas it shines, like the track here at Atlanta looks pretty good, and the shading and stuff like that. But sometimes the cars just look a little bit plastic, and I don't know, something is a little off with the graphics. So it's not terrible, but they're definitely not the best. So basically what's adding up to the game is that with the bad driving physics, you can still have fun. Like there's still fun parts of racing, like this tight racing still has a good time, but even the Technics games were like way beyond that. And before I was pretty disappointed with those two, but I realize now that I'm mostly disappointed in all the bugs in them, like the pitting. It's like it was so easy to beat the AI pitting because they would just do stupid things, and that's not as much of a problem in this. They'll get 2 tires even sometimes if the fuel's like, if there's only 6 laps to go. That's really cool, so there are some goods with that. But like the Technics ones, there was buggy, and then I would race with my brother a lot, and the game would just freeze a lot. Especially at the Auto Club, you cannot race Auto Club without the first caution comes out, game freezes, and just weird stuff like that would happen. Where like now that the game, like that this game is out, and playing some of the old games, as much as I love the old games, I miss like those driving physics, because you could run like, so you could go at Homestead, Miami, or Kansas, or anywhere. And if you were good, you could run like right next to the wall and go super fast. It was super fun, like the Kyle Larson line. and I definitely enjoyed that a lot. And sometimes you kiss the wall a little bit, get into it, but just the way it is, like the line sensitivity was better, the way the cars felt. Like this game, it just jumps around, and some of the moves, like me going up high there, you can see I was just trying to see if I could get by them, but sometimes it's just like it's hard to hold a line. The AI and you, like no one's running true lines. It's like get cut off by Dale Jr. right here. Thanks, bud. um, like earlier in the video, Danica Patrick and like Matt right here, like running way down towards the apron, and it happens on other tracks too. I think Michigan too. Like they never go up against the wall off of 4, and I just wonder why they're not running. Why is the AI not running the correct like racing line? Like it's just weird. But at least when you're on their outside or inside while after the restarts, they typically don't run into you. And you can have some fun battles like me and Dale right here. And that's where this game becomes fun. Also, online and multiplayer, the stability is better than the Utechnics games. The cars don't like jump around so much, even though that still happens. And there's definitely been I've had some fun racing online with that. And that is something that they did focus on, and they wanted to bring 43 cars to it. I haven't really raced a race with that. I'm not sure if I want to, because it'd probably be wreck fest crazy. I don't think like that was the best place to put your resources and investing your time into that. They need to make the actual driving physics and the base game better, not wasting time trying to get 43 cars on a track, which sounds awful to me, because when you race with people online, one person makes a mistake, it can ruin the race for everyone. So there can be a crash that takes out like 20 people, and it's just like, yeah, it's just a terrible idea, I feel like. So let's see. I think we're running out of time here. So get down to the final verdict. I'm probably gonna give this game a 5 out of 10. Sometimes that almost was a little high with all the problems it has, and just the actual core game isn't the best. But it's NASCAR and it's racing, and I do love that. And sometimes you just have these really awesome moments every once in a while, and it makes the game a lot more fun when that happens. So I guess if you can take the bad with the good, this is a game that you could definitely buy. I don't think it's 60 bucks anymore, so don't spend that. But if you know that you can accept the game for what it is with the problems and have some fun with it, I would go ahead and get it. But if you know that you're going to be nitpicking, these problems are going to drive you crazy because there's a lot of problems with the game, then don't get it, because you're not going to enjoy it if you're going to let the bugs and just the base game not being the best quality game drive you crazy. Hopefully the next installment is much better quality than this game. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have fun, and I hope that if you do have this game, you have as much fun with it as you can. But we're really looking forward to a real NASCAR sim, a real good one, because we've been waiting a long time for a good quality one, and we really need it.